All right, Savannah. This is Taraz, and I am the fill-in host for Julia Spencer for the Real Estate Real Talk show. Julia is at a real estate auction in Vegas. I should have told her to buy me a home before she comes back, but she's there. So she'll have some great content for you guys when she comes back. But today, I have a great guest in the studio. He showed up last minute, was available, came in. He's been great so far. We had some conversation off air. It's been awesome, so I'm looking forward to this. Mr. Ken Keely, he's a sales advisor with Three Oaks Realty here in Savannah. And I'll do it this way too. So on my show, I usually start with the scenario, so I'll start with the same scenario here.
Sure.
So here we go. You're in your neighborhood. You're walking through your neighborhood. A little kid comes up to you and says, Mr. Ken, you're my hero. I want to be like you when I grow up. All right, so in the language that a 10 and 12-year-old can understand, what does it take to be Ken Keely?
Well, let's see. I have a varied background from
A little bit closer.
moving around the country and visiting various places and having a lot of experiences as a youth. And I served in the Army after I got out of high school. Came back and went to college, as a lot of vets did back then on the GI Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Started out in sales and moved up the ladder in the corporate world over the years. Grew up to be a VP of sales for giftware and toy corporations, and at the age of 68, I decided to make a career change and got my real estate license, and I've been very happy ever since. Savannah's a great town and a great place to grow up in for its history and varied culture, and I've been here 18 years now and just absolutely love Savannah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so why the change at 68? Why real estate at 68?
I was either thinking of retiring or just getting out of the corporate world, but I like to work. I like to stay busy. I also like to play golf, but I can't play golf 5 days a week. So, but yeah, I've known a lot of real estate agents in town for years, and a couple of them encouraged me to get my real estate license. So
Nice.
It wasn't an easy situation because I hadn't taken a test for since 1972. But all in all, I did get my license and started out with Mapper Kelly, which is now England Volkers in the city, and made a transition over to Three Oaks Realty last August.
Awesome. Okay, so why Three Oaks? I wonder, because there's a lot of different firms around here.
Well, Three Oaks is a solely owned and operated boutique agency. And when I say boutique agency, we're not connected to any corporate entity like a Sotheby's or a Christie's, but it's a smaller agency. We have eight agents and 3 brokers, and we really specialize in working as a team. So while we're all independent agents, everybody works together on listings with buyers. But yeah, it's a really good team effort, which I really enjoy. Everybody's there to work with you, to help you improve yourself, be successful. It's probably the biggest part.
Right. Yeah, when I was so I had my license in North Carolina and Illinois.
Right.
I lived in Chicago for a couple of years, but I was in North Carolina. I was with Coldwell Banker for a few months, and then I went over to a boutique firm. It was called Helen Adams Realty in Charlotte, and it's I liked it a lot more too. Just it was more of a spirit of help instead of so much competition.
Right.
With the boutique firm.
Yeah.
And the training was better because they wanted everybody to do well.
Well, I mean, some people like that corporate atmosphere, and it really works. I mean, there are a lot of successful agencies in town, but again, we're a smaller agency, and we do a lot with training, which is really great. We belong to a group called Ninja, which is a way to sell. Very easygoing, but very well thought out program. which helps you deal with different types of people, whether they be high-strung or low-key. So it's been very good in that aspect. And our three brokers, which are Stephanie Wilson, Tommy Reese, and Cliff Merce, do a lot to really help their agents be successful. Mm-hmm. Not that other agencies don't, but they work in a way where it's very motivating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I went through the ninja training too. So that was I even like went up to Colorado and did the full week there
right.
at the group, and it was amazing. You know, it was life changing in a lot of ways. Just how they kind of. Well, they say they install it in you, right? It's an installation. It's not a class, but it's an installation.
Right.
So
it's just a new way of thinking.
Right.
And even though I've been in the corporate world for, 40 some odd years and had lots of training classes, public speaking and various other things, it kind of took the best of all the worlds that I've been in and rolled it into one. And, again, even though I've been in the corporate world, it just made me think in a different direction on how to deal with people and just in general be successful.
Yeah, I agree. I even had a chance to interview Larry Kendall on a previous podcast I did.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was a great.
Excellent.
Yeah. So he was awesome, but I learned a lot from him. So that's great. Yeah, I thought. I knew I liked Three Oaks for some reason. The ninja selling, it makes sense now. Okay, so cool. So what? So tell me a little bit about Savannah and real estate, like in the historic district. Because like I said, I'm new here. I've done pedicab tours before, so I know the touristy stuff.
Right.
But how has Savannah changed on a real estate level that you've seen since you've been here?
The Low Country in general. From what I've seen over the years, I've lived in Charleston, South Carolina, and this area, the Low Country area, which goes from Brunswick all the way up to south of Myrtle Beach, is probably one of the biggest growth areas in the country right now for retirement.
Oh man, okay.
It's very affordable. Mm-hmm. Taxes are fairly reasonable, but there are a lot more areas other than just the historic area. Ardsley Park is a very, very big area. Mm-hmm. The South Side, Pooler is a huge growth spurt.
Yeah.
And also, the Daffin Park area over in Parkside, probably one of the fastest growing real estate areas in Savannah.
Really? Okay.
I think what we have over a lot of other cities is that we've got a major industrial infrastructure with the port. It's a very strong draw. We've got Gulfstream, we've got JVC. It's not only got the tourism, but we have the corporate infrastructure to also grow the community. As far as a retirement area and an investment area, Savannah is just very, very strong, only because of everything that we have besides tourism. Real estate investment. Like I say, the Pooler area. I remember when I first moved here, somebody said, "Oh, buy land in Pooler." I said, "Why would I want to buy land in Pooler? It's
right.
Nothing out there." Well, Pooler is just a huge area, and then you got out into Effingham and that area. It's just grown immensely in the 20 years I've been here.
I haven't been up to anywhere in Effingham yet.
Yeah,
but when we first moved here, we were thinking about moving to Pooler, and we just saw all the traffic, and we were like, "Nah, we're okay."
Well, the traffic in Pooler when I first moved here, you went to the airport, and that was about it.
Okay.
Now with all the developments out there, but you even see it out in Rankin and Springfield, which is a little more rural. But again, the growth area, again, as a retirement area, it's just a huge growth spurt. A lot of people making investments, maybe they're going to retire in 20 years. They'll come here, buy a house, rent it out, or make it a short-term rental, a vacation rental by owner.
Gotcha.
And by the time they're ready to retire in 20 years, they, pretty much had the house paid off. They'll sell their house wherever they are and then move down here permanently.
Yeah,
so
that makes a lot of sense. That's a smart move. I haven't thought about that before.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, So a lot of people aren't even like trying Tybee. How's Tybee?
Tybee's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, again, it's a commute. I mean, they have a lot of things going out there. You've got the beach, obviously, and a lot of water sports, it's a great area. But you've got it like the landings. You've got a 20, 30-minute, 40-minute commute. If you want to come in town, or we'd like to go out to Tybee a lot. Just for day trips ourselves. But it's a longer commute, so it's a little more. I think the more rentals out there than full-time, full-time ownership as we have downtown. So
is that the case? Is it more in downtown? Is it are there more rentals than full-time owners downtown, or is it close?
The interesting thing with Savannah is that the rental market has decreased because a lot of people took their vacation. Their long-term rentals and turned them into vacation rental by owners. So that area has, decreased the amount of rentals, full-time rentals available. I mean, it's a lot of people are making, like I said, investments, long-term investments, so that when they do retire, they can just sell their house wherever they are, or keep it as a second house and live here 6 months and live there 6 months.
Okay. I know my in-laws who are throwing around the idea of, and my mom too, was just throwing around the idea of getting like a home on Tybee and doing that same thing, for one day.
And you can, keep it for when you want to block out 4 months of the year, or a month of the year, or just the month of July or whatever, and then rent it out the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So is that where you specialize in? You specialize like downtown? Historic district, or?
Mostly, yeah. But I mean, we do all the historic district. We do the islands, Wilmington Island. We've got a couple listings like I said, out in Springfield and Pooler, Garden City. But I mean, we're located right downtown at 509 Barnard Street. So, we kind of specialize in the historic district, but we do residential, and both residential and commercial.
Gotcha.
But we're heavily residential.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're not from here originally?
Not from here originally. I grew up in Maryland, and then moved to Pennsylvania when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and lived there most of my life, and then went in the service, graduated from college, and got a job with a medical company, moved to Boston, lived up there for 30 years, and then I got into the gift industry and kind of moved around and went from Boston to Charleston to Savannah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you've been here, how long you said? About 20 years now?
Yeah. 20 years this June, so.
Okay. So like how, once again, I'm new. I'll probably be new as long as I live here. But how have you seen Savannah change since you've been here?
Well, again, as a tourist attraction, it's quadrupled. I mean, it's just amazing to me that, when we first moved here, tourism was really strong in the, spring months, and then the fall months, and then it would fall off in the summer, and then, the November, December, January time frame. Now it's year round. I mean, tourism is just year round. Which makes it tougher to get into restaurants and et cetera. But
especially if you live downtown.
I mean, we've lived downtown in the same house for 20 years, and just seeing the whole area change. It's just the amount of tourists that we get into town are just amazes me every day when I see the buses full. So it's,
it is. Yeah, I agree. So with your unique perspective, being here, seeing the tourism explode. Here's a bus right here. Seeing the tourism explode. How
should we wave?
Right? Do you see it as like a good thing, or do you see it as just a?
Oh, it's excellent, because a lot of people come here, as any other tourist area. They like what they see, and end up buying real estate. So it's a good all around thing. I mean, the Midnight Garden Good and Evil really put Savannah on the map as far as a tourist destination. And we've seen a lot of hotels going up, and the thing that I see, it's just got a real mixture with the short-term rentals, the hotels, vacation rental by owners. It just makes it really affordable for people to come here. No matter what they can afford. You can get a very inexpensive short-term rental or stay in a luxury hotel.
That's true.
Or a mid-range hotel. So it really offers people of various backgrounds and incomes to be able to afford to come here and spend 3 or 4 days. And I think the tour companies have done a great job in making it more visible, because I find that a lot of people come here, they'll get on a tour bus, see places they like, and then they go back to visit that on a more long-term basis. So.
I had the opportunity to interview a local attorney, Bo Bowen, recently, and he was telling me about the film industry, just how much that's changed as well. Changed the face of the economy and the city.
Well, again, like I was talking about our business infrastructure. I mean, it's like the movie and TV industry here is just boom. We have a good friend that does site locations for movies and TV shows, and she just never stops. I mean, she's just busy. So again, that's another industry that has developed here that has great growth potential. So.
Okay, so this is a show about real estate. I'm used to just diving into a person's story, but I want to make sure the listeners get what they came for. So, so like, what advice do you have for a person? Anybody who's getting into real estate for the first time, but maybe also, like, from your perspective, you started at 68, you should be retired, or you could have retired, right? But you decided to go back. So, like, from your perspective and just in general, like, what is some advice for a new real estate agent?
New real estate agent is be very technologically oriented, because everything we do is technology oriented. And the good thing about, we have MLS where we can easily look up houses. You give me a price range, number of bedrooms, style of house. I can pretty well gear in within 15 minutes of our conversation, what you're looking for in the area you're looking for at the price range you're looking for. And so technology is a very important part of our industry. Okay. And but yeah, you have to have a lot of perseverance. It takes a while, no matter how long you've been in a place. It just takes a while. You have to a lot of patience, a lot of perseverance, do a lot of networking, hand out a lot of business cards. I do postcard mailings, marketing, Facebook, social media. So having a good, solid knowledge of especially social media, where it's very inexpensive to interact with prospective customers, is very important. So.
I'm beginning to hate social media. It's good, but it's a curse at the same time.
It's a curse and a blessing. But it allows me to interact not only with friends on social media, but also do advertising that branches out within I can pinpoint an area within 5 miles of the Savannah area.
It's true.
And hit 6,000 people with an ad or a house that I've listed. So for me, it's a very inexpensive way to advertise.
So what has worked best for you so far as a return on investment?
Probably Facebook.
Okay.
I have my own. I have my personal Facebook page, and then I also have my own business page, and that's where I do my advertising from, and it's branded, Savannah Distinctive Properties, Three Oaks Real Estate. Okay. That's kind of the name of my corp. But yeah, that I can reach a lot of people very quickly, and it might cost me $20 as opposed to $300 running an ad in the local newspaper or one of our Savannah magazine or whatever. So for me, social media has been very important. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I guess I meant on a personal level when I said I hate it. No, I hate it. Yeah, I mean, it's like sit there and click all day. Go, I don't want to see that. Don't want to see that.
Right,
don't want to see
that.
But.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, all right. So, you chose Three Oaks Realty. And I'm just a little bit more interested in them. Like, how did they get started? How long have they been around?
Well, the three, our three brokers were with another agency in town, and I think it's been 9 years now. They started their own agency from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
They were in a different office at that point, and just built the business up. They had a lot of connections in town. They built up a really good book of business, each personally, and just started from there. And they've been very successful. It's a very low-key agency, but it's got a really good energy. Like I said, we have Stephanie as our managing broker. She takes care of the day-to-day operations, and then Cliff and Tommy are selling brokers. But the good thing is if we ever have a problem or are having a problem like what the listing price should be on a house, I mean, they'll come out with us, take a look at it, give us their opinion. So they're very helpful in that aspect, or anything we need help with, they're right there. And we have a really good support staff with Holly and Danielle. Like I said, we talked about Danielle earlier. She's our right arm.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Danielle's awesome. Yeah, I found her number from a card. I had to find a last minute guest, and she presented it to you guys, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Danielle. I don't know if you're listening. Probably not. I appreciate it.
She told me to put a good word in for her.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Well, I love the boutique firms. Because they usually have more of a connection to the community.
Yeah, and like I say, all of us live pretty much in the historic area, but it's a real team effort. Having worked at other agencies and knowing other agents in town and the companies they work for, it's really a team effort. Everybody's there for everybody, and so you don't really get one agent; you get 8 agents, and. Like I say, we work well with each other, and it's really an important thing to have that team effort.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so before we take a short break, how can people find you? How can they get in touch with you?
My cell phone number is 912-660-2272, and my email address is ken@3 Oaks with an S, realty.com.
Okay. And either one of those are good for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, awesome. All right, so thank you guys for listening. We're going to take a quick break, do some, tell you guys about some upcoming promotions we have that are going to be awesome, and we'll be right back to put Mr. Keely, Ken, through the lightning round. All right, so it should be fun. All right, Savannah, we're back to the Real Estate Real Talk show with the adjunct host, Therese. All right, so we are going to put Ken through the lightning round. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. What did you want to be as a kid, and how does that relate to your current business?
What did I want to be as a kid? I wanted to be a salesman like my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did your dad sell?
He was sold industrial paints.
Okay.
It wasn't AT&T back then. It was Bell Systems or whatever, and he sold the paints for the that they painted the phones with, and he sold shipyards, paint for boats, and so yeah.
That's rare. I've never heard anybody say that before, that they wanted to be a salesman.
Yeah, I mean, I just he did well, and it was. I had kind of the gift of gab as a kid.
Okay. It felt like a good
I guess
thing.
I was a born salesman.
Yeah. All right, awesome. How have you approached failure in life?
I think fairly logically. I've learned to handle it more gracefully than I used to in my youth, so to speak. But I handle it more gracefully.
Okay.
And find ways to make it better.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Who influenced you early in life, and who's your mentor now?
Early in life, it was probably my parents. both. I mean, it was like growing up in Leave It to Beaver days. I mean, it was that kind of family where everybody came over to our house, and they had a lot of good friends, and it was just, they were a big influence on how I grew up and what I became.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
who is my mentor now? That's a hard one. it's I have to think about that one.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. We can come back to it. So you already told me that. So tell me a story about a failure.
Let's see. Boy. Failure. I was back when I was in the days with medical sales. I was working with CVS, which was a much smaller pharmacy chain back then, and I tried to get in there and sell them, probably 9 times over a year period, and I just kept persevering.
Yeah.
Kept going back, and finally we got a product that they really needed that was new in the marketplace, and that really helped me get in. But I didn't give up on that. I just kept going after them and going after them and going after them until I did it.
Yeah. So what did they tell you the first 8 times? What did they say? Don't come back?
Either don't need it. We got similar products products similar to this in our stores. Don't like the product, too high priced. The usual stuff. But I just kept coming back till I had something they wanted.
Yeah.
And I think back then most people would have just backed away from it. But,
yeah. Even now, I would have.
Yeah.
After try 3, I would have backed away. So what advice do you have for real estate agents, salesmen, entrepreneurs, business owners who are in a similar situation where they have a product they want to, that they have to sell, but they keep getting turned down? Like, what advice do you have?
Well, again, perseverance, patience, know your market. It's not just selling a house, it's knowing the marketplace, what comparable houses are selling for. You just really have to spend every day working at it. It's not a part-time job, it's a full-time job. I know some people that do it part-time and are successful, but it really takes a lot of knowledge on knowing the market, knowing what's happening. What are the hot areas with good school systems. You just really have to study. It's not just sell this house or take buyers around and show them houses. You just really need to be knowledgeable of the market.
That's true. And that's something I learned while I was doing real estate, because nobody knows the market better than a buyer. Yep. Because before they come to you, they've already been on Zillow.
Well, especially now with Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com, people know a lot more about the marketplace before they get here. And if you just take them in a house and stand there and say, well, this is a really nice living room, they know it's a nice living room. They've already seen the pictures of it. So it's
right. That's why they want to go there. Yeah.
Yes. So you have to, really be knowledgeable about what's going on in the area. Shops, restaurants. I'm also a concierge. It's like when buyers call up from out of town, I give them recommendations for hotels, restaurants, tours to take, places to go while they're here when they're not looking at real estate. So, you almost become a real estate agent, concierge, advisor. So
that's a great point.
Yeah.
What have you had to sacrifice in order to become an agent?
A lot of income. Initially when you start out, obviously it's a straight commission job. So, right. You have to have good support. Like, I was very fortunate that my wife works in New York for Paragon Publishing, and makes a good living, because it takes a while before you get. Even if you sell the house your first week on the job, you're not going to get a paycheck for another 90 days.
That's true.
And in order to get to that point where you're actually making a good living, it takes a while. It can take up to a year.
Yeah,
just depends on how well networked you are in
Yeah.
in the marketplace. So.
Yeah, I know when I first started in Charlotte, it took me at least 3 months or so to get my first sale.
Yeah.
And then I had 3 offers I put in all at once, so it kind of all came down at once.
Right.
But then one fell out, and I had 2, and by that time, every little bit of commission I made, I still had to pay the bills with that. So I'm broke again, you know.
Yeah.
So it does take time. You have to let it snowball. You just have to wait it out.
Yeah, it really does.
Like you said, keep persevering.
Yeah.
What's one thing that drains you of energy, and what's one thing that excites you?
Let's see. Drains me of energy is a lot of small talk.
Oh, man, so you're gonna leave here?
No. One thing that excites me is just the thrill of the hunt. I mean, it's just, like I say, I could retire and play golf 5 days a week, but I'd be bored stiff.
Yeah.
And real estate really excites me. It has a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken everything I've learned over 40 years and allowing me to be independent while working with an agency.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we have a good support staff, and it's just a very, very exciting time for me.
Yeah. Would you have stayed at your other company without retiring if you could have? Or would you?
You mean when I was in the corporate world?
Yeah. Would you have stayed in the corporate role if you could have? Or would you?
I probably would have,
Yeah.
but again, real estate's something I wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I just went for it.
Yeah.
Just quit my job, said bye-bye,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna, after I got my real estate license.
Right. Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Smart move. Okay. A few more.
Sure.
What's your favorite book?
I'm not a huge reader, but let's see. I still love Moby Dick.
Okay.
It's always been my favorite. I have some drawings in my office that were done way back when. They're kind of pen and ink drawings of from the book Moby Dick,
Mm-hmm.
and just always fascinated by that whole lifestyle back then.
Yeah. Yeah. The lifestyle, and I see it's a theme of your life, of the chase.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
The thrill of
You
the
got
chase. So there's a concept called Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. So like 20% of your actions equal 80% of your results. So like in your business and real estate right now, what are the 20% of things, the small things you do that get you the most results?
Pay attention to the client.
Mm.
I think it's probably the most important thing. Listening, being a good listener,
Mm-hmm.
And giving them what they want, and not showing them things out of their price range or under their price range. Being exact. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And sometimes you show them something a little different just to get a reaction, to see if I kind of like that too. So but listening to the customer.
Yeah.
Knowing how long they had to move here, if it's a relocation, or I got to sell my house before I can buy a house. So you have to be cognizant of a lot of different areas, and just ask a lot of questions to find out exactly where they're at, what they want, and what time frame they have to do it in.
Yeah. That's a great point. I ask this question to a lot of people, and I don't think anybody's ever said that, but listening is key. Listening to exactly what they want.
Yep.
Yeah. Very key. Awesome. Advice for... I already asked you that. So 2 more. Is there a quote that's always been a mantra that you live by? No cursing on this show.
No. Well, it's like Stephanie asked in our meetings, what are you thankful for?
Mm.
And I kind of am thankful for a lot of things, but the ninja training got me back into that mindset again.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thankful for? I'm thankful for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe small, maybe big, but usually it's a small thing, but the small things become bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the small things matter. All right. So last question: if you had a superpower or ability, what would you choose and why?
Fly.
All right, that's an easy answer.
Not with a cape. I just want to put my arms out and go for it off a building.
Oh, okay, that's probably what most people choose, to fly. Awesome. All right, so Ken, thank you. Is there anything we missed? Anything you wanna throw in before we get out of here?
No, I appreciate you having me here, and it's been a great experience.
Okay, good. Yeah, good. For me too. It's my first time doing a real estate show, so
well, you might want to do it again.
Maybe. Maybe. Okay. All right. So once again, everybody out there listening, I'm here with Mr. Ken Keely, sales advisor and concierge, technically, with Three Oaks Realty. You can reach him at 912-660-2272 or Ken at threeoaksrealty.com. THREE, spell it out, threeoaksrealty.com. All right, so thank you, Ken. Any last words?
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. As always, or what I usually say on my show is thank you for listening. Also, be the change you want to see in the world. Go out there and do something impactful. If you're in real estate, you have to persevere. You have to be persistent. You have to have a strong mindset to get out there and just do something. So go out there, take action this week. And thank you guys for having me. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.